Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Greetings, beloved beings of light. Hope your day is most beautiful and blessed. I wanted to create a special gift for all our supporters on YouTube and Patreon. This may be my last Dharma talk before we're fully on the new earth. Hopefully. So Dharma means truth in Sanskrit. So truth, what is truth? That which is beyond words and all concepts. And in this transmission, this Dharma talk, I'll be transmitting not just verbally, with gnosis, with knowledge, but also mind-to-mind transmission, heart-to-heart transmission, which is beyond words. It is frequency, vibration, and it is a transmission of the mind of Buddha, which I transmit in every Dharma talk I give. So let us begin this session, this transmission. We will ring the dragon bells 3 times for each energy center, Dan Dian. So take some slow, deep breaths. Breathe deep into your hara, your lower Dan Dian. Breathe in the heavenly chi. We may have some background noise here, although I'm out in nature. There's a road behind here and a lot of activity today on this beautiful day. So take slow, deep breaths, filling your body with the heavenly chi. Smile, 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 ground, ground, ground. Smile to open the heart. Heart center the chakra and ground into the crystalline core of Mother Earth. We ring the bell to create sacred space, to open space and to clear the energy, the vibrations around us and in our session and in our practice and arts, our spiritual arts. So really feel into this energy, the vibration of this now. So one of my main purposes for coming into this realm, in the end of this old cycle and the beginning of the new, is transmit the Buddha mind, Buddha consciousness. And what is Buddha? Buddha in Sanskrit means the awakened one. You see, the Zen masters, when I was a young man, I trained with the Zen Shin Sangha. In the Shin Buddhism, I carry the Nembutsu. The Nembutsu is the Namo Amida Butsu of the Pure Land sect. And also the Zen practice, the Zen tradition. Zen means meditation in Japanese. So I trained in the early 90s, 90, 91, 92 at a Zen temple in Cleveland, Ohio, in Euclid. And in a monastery in the Catskills, I trained with Daido Roshi. So I trained with, over the years, many years, with Roshis, which in Japanese Zen master, and then over the years, many shamans, healers, sages. I've sat at the feet of many masters over the years, many Eastern traditions, and trained with many masters of the Buddhists, the Taoist, Hindu, and Christian teachers and masters, and many different lineages. The Kriya Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Ashtanga. And I bring them all together to create my own philosophy, my own lineage of the eagle and the condor that I transmit to all of you every day through the transmissions and through our teachings on Patreon and here on YouTube. So when I came into this realm, when I was a child, I was very sensitive, like most starseeds, like my sacred condor. She was a very sensitive child, and all I cared about was truth and freedom. You see, I saw truth. I read thousands of books since the beginning I can remember. I was reading books while I was still in diapers, just came to me naturally. So I read thousands of books, always seeking the truth, always seeking the knowledge to understand this realm, this Maya we call illusion, or the matrix, many call this realm, the matrix, the simulation. I wanted to understand it and then also how to free myself from it. So I went through many years of trauma and then found the masters. See, by the time I was a teenager, I was a very angry demon after being tortured and traumatized by nefarious beings in this realm. Human beings, that were not real human beings. They were what in shamanism we call petty tyrants, But they help trigger us. They help us navigate through certain energies. These are all part of the lessons that we learn to become the warriors that we are, the spiritual warriors and the physical light warriors and light keepers. So I sought many teachers over the years. See, I began, like most, looking outside myself, and the books and the temples, the teachers and the masters guided me within myself, where I guide all of you. To seek the kingdom of heaven within yourself. Every master through every lineage. Buddha, the Shakyamuni Buddha was the original Buddha of this timeline. 2,500 years ago, he reached enlightenment. He attained enlightenment and realized his true nature, which we call Buddha mind, or you could call Christos Sophia consciousness or cosmic consciousness, God consciousness. This is realizing your true nature, that you always have been and always will be. It never changes. That is the truth. The truth never changes. What changes is maybe true today, maybe false tomorrow, but it is not the ultimate truth. It is part of this simulation. You see, the masters transmitted to me the gnosis of this Buddha mind. You can call pure awareness. You see, when I study the works of one of my favorite Zen masters, Bankei, there's a book called The Unborn Mind. He would teach all about the unborn mind of Buddha. He would teach that all things are perfectly resolved in the unborn mind of Buddha. That is the part of yourself that is eternal, that our pure awareness that has always been, is, and always will be. This is what we realize when you attain enlightenment. When you sit in meditation to quiet the mind, each moment of meditation is clearing the mind. You see, the Buddhists and Taoists see the mind as a mirror. The mind reflects everything. But that mirror, over time, since we were born, has been muddied up, dirtied, filth. This is all the traumas, the pain, the lies, the propaganda. Most of you are realizing that you have been lied to most of your life. Most things were lies, especially these dogmas, that you're evil, that you're bad, that God punishes, that never resonated with me as a child, like with most of you. I didn't believe any of that nonsense. I knew from a very young age, by the time I was 8, 9, that most adults, most people didn't really know anything. And most of them lied, knowingly or unknowingly, some with an agenda and some just out of ignorance. You see, in Buddhism, we don't use the word evil, we use ignorance, because it is ignorance. Ignorance of your true self, of your true nature, of your oneness with Source that causes suffering and causes the propagation and the continuation of these lies. You see, people come up with this term, I say, I won't black pill you today. It's a newer term. Black pill means everything's a lie. That's very pessimistic. I keep the optimism and the hope going, just to know that not everything is a lie, just most things, what you realize now. So people came up because some of the people that explore these conspiracies and the nefarious aspects of this realm realize that there's many conspiracies, most of them true, some made up. So, there's that term, from Matrix, red pill, blue pill. Many people over the years that came to meet me or came into my shop I had in Cleveland for 18 years, they would see that I had things that were not of the ordinary, that were mystical and non-physical. And as we would discuss, Many people would say, when were you red-pilled? People use that term like in the Matrix, red symbolizing, waking up from the Matrix or realizing the simulation, and the blue pill is, to stay in the illusion, to stay trapped in these cycles within cycles. And I'd simply say I never needed a pill. I always knew this was Maya. Since a child, there's two things I knew coming into this realm: that this was an illusion, that this was Maya, the Matrix, and my sacred condor, who my sacred condor is. We came into this realm from 12D Venus together, to heal this realm and to transmit our love, our consciousness, our pure awareness to our people of the new earth, and hold the codes of divine union, of Heros Gamos for all of you, for all of our good people of the new earth. You see, it took me 47 years to find her, in this realm, but I had to go through many trials, tribulations, great suffering, many dark nights of the soul, thousands of dark nights of the soul, navigating through the deepest, I went to the deepest, darkest hells, the deepest valleys and the highest mountains, of bliss, to experience everything in between, from the highest to the lowest, so I can navigate through these final energies with all of you and to continue my work and continue teaching. I had to go through many healings with shamans, medicine men and medicine women from many lineages, from shamans from Lakota, Sioux, Navajo, Ojibwe, Mongolian shamans, bear medicine, horse medicine, thunder beings, the Tengri. I worked with thunder beings, thunder breathing through some of the highest lineages, and wore these robes through many hours of practice of Shen Gong. There's Qi Gong, Nei Gong, and Shen Gong. Shen, S-H-E-N in Chinese, means spirit, which is the highest practice, is the highest training. You have to work your way up from the lower, from the Qi Gongs to the Nei Gongs and to the Shen Gongs, to activate the crystal palace. You see, the Taoist masters, when they awakened, they saw that the brain, in our skull, the center is a crystal palace, but it's a mud ball, you're just living out the program, that's programmed into our DNA, like these NPCs people call nowadays, that, just live out sequences of programs and never realizing that they're in some kind of simulation. And not that we judge those people, we don't judge, we're here to transmit compassion, healing, and love and truth through gnosis and through our arts and through our practices. People have a lot of loud machinery around here. See, that's what happens when you separate human from nature. They get wacky and do crazy things, and like loud noises, loud things, instead of being in harmony with nature and living in balance, That's okay. We don't judge that either. We navigate through it. We allow it to come and we allow it to go. It's all part of the illusion. No matter what appears, you just know it's part of the simulation. I don't care if it's the most scariest demon or the most frightened animal, all these things you see. Because in Buddhism, we say the three hells. Hell doesn't symbolize a place, like this fiery pit that you will burn forever for your sins, young man. It's more of a, hells is negative thoughts, feelings, emotions. So we say the three hells. See, this pure awareness that is our true nature. When we came into this physical vessel, our mind and our bodies and our energy was programmed for, the fears, be afraid of this, be afraid of that. All the fear we call frightened animal is one of the hells. The hungry ghost, always wanting more, never having enough, constantly desiring this, that. It's like not being happy with what we have and always wanting what we don't have, Hungry ghost, that's where addictions come from. It's like not being at peace with yourself and with this now. And then the angry demon is the third hell. The angers, rising up, seeking revenge, all these things, and we're here to resolve all these things perfectly in the unborn mind of Buddha. So Buddha when Shakyamuni realized his true nature, he sat under the Bodhi tree in meditation, and when he attained awakening, enlightenment, he pointed to the heavens, one hand to the heavens and one to the earth. He said, in the heavens and upon the earth, I alone am the world-honored one. What does this mean? You see, it's realizing that there's one I am presence, which we call God, Source. One of the greatest minds in Christianity, Dr. Walter Russell would say, God is the still white magnetic light at the center of all things. And that's a scientific way to explain love, to explain truth, to explain pure awareness. You see, Zen Master Bankei would say, Buddha, mind is your pure awareness. It's perfectly awake, perfectly aware. Sitting here, it's what's hearing these words now and interpreting these words and knowing truth, because you are the truth. The truth is the I am presence. And we use many words and concepts. The greatest truth is silence. I could just sit here and say nothing. If you want the truth, just sit and smile. But we do our best as teachers and guides to transmit the truth, to create the concepts that point directly to the moon of enlightenment. It's the moon symbolic of enlightenment in Buddhism. So we say these concepts, they're not the truth, but they're the finger pointing. So you can have your own direct experience and awaken from the dream, from the illusion of separation, the simulation. So we say, don't take the words literally. People stare at the finger and say, this is God. God's up in the clouds. They create some separate being. Some dude with a big gray beard up in the clouds, or, someone on a cross, or a woman, or a goddess, or a tree. All these things are symbolic. They're all beautiful. Our symbols are synchronicities, but you don't need idols, and you don't need to worship anything. Just seek the kingdom of heaven within yourself. To seek the truth. It's not an external thing. The external mirrors the internal. When we find peace within ourselves, we bring peace to the world, and we manifest peace to the world. You see people go out there and fight for peace, with all inside this constant battle with this monkey mind constantly turning, constantly in competition and trying to control and manipulate, instead of just going with the flow. Being natural, a natural human being, or we might say organic, and this is part of the ascension process, is freeing yourself from these concepts, from duality, and from doubt and fear. The master will say, if you doubt your enlightenment or your Buddha nature, sit on the cushion, the zafu, za, sitting, fu, cushion in Japanese. Doesn't matter the path. Each path, all paths of spirituality lead to the same source. Just pick one and go all the way with it. See, today there's a lot of distractions and monkey mind and, a lot of shiny objects. This path is better than that. So you get started, you start seeing some improvement, and then this one pops up, especially with the internet and all these technologies. It's like constantly bombarded with this one's better than that, and that's better than this, my religion's better than yours, that constant duality. A true master doesn't tell you which path to choose. They say, here's one. If it resonates with you, follow it. We don't need students. We don't need practitioners. But once you realize your true nature, you just want to teach it to the world, to help heal the world. See, the world-honored one is a being that is in this world, but not of this world. We honor the world by our presence, by our pure awareness, by our love, by our joy, our bliss, and then the world honors us, you see. It's a mirror. See, Dojin Roshi of the Soto lineage, he started the Soto. The two main schools of Zen are Soto and Rinzai. Soto sit, and he saw each moment of meditation is like cleaning the mirror. It's like clean the muck and the filth of all these lies, programs, propagandas, dogmas, all these belief systems that are clouding the mind and keeping you from your freedom and from your peace and your bliss and your joy. So each moment is cleaning the dirt and the muck, and then washing the filth off and the murk, and then you polish it. You polish the mirror until it reflects itself perfectly. Then you sit in samadhi, in nirvana, which is love. Let's see, we use the word love as our true nature. God is love, God is truth. And that's a separate being. It's the love that's in your heart center. It's just within your heart that's resonating throughout every cell in your body, that it's the whole cosmic picture, the whole cosmic consciousness. It is your awareness, is your infinite creative potential. God will work with you, but not for you. That's from Walter and Leo. Walter's divine counterpart, Leo Russell. They wrote a book, an amazing book. God will work with you, but not for you. Meaning God doesn't pick and choose. The awareness doesn't pick and choose, like, I like this, I don't like that. And when you realize your true nature, you transcend picking and choosing. We still navigate the world, and there's some things we like and don't like. There's some things that resonate, that don't resonate. That's all fine and well, but we transcend all these things with our pure awareness, with our Buddha mind. And then we can bring that into our body, into our consciousness, and this is transforming into the avatars of New Earth. We create the Pure Land, we create the New Earth. We are the event. People talk about the event. The event happens. The compression breakthrough is when we still our mind, we turn off our internal dialogue, and we sit in that total silence, total stillness. And in that moment of total stillness, we transform into dragon and swallow the whole universe. Here now, in this body, where I always am. I am here now. The I am presence that's fully awake and fully aware. It's very simple. Let us not overcomplicate. The mind wants to overcomplicate things, and I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, all these things. Like, I'm separate, I'm less than, the mind, the matrix is very tricky and sticky, and it tricks you into thinking you're less than divine, you're less than sacred, and then it sticks you to it, constantly just trying to prove it to you. You must let all that go and transcend it and ascend, through your central channel. Now, today is the Galactic New Year. The Galactic New Year. So we start a new cosmic cycle. We're in the central column of the Tzolk'in, the mystic column. This is mystical energy. It's synchronic with our central channel. We call this Sushumna. In Sanskrit, or in Tibetan Buddhism, we call a Katika channel. I believe it's Katika, Katika. It is the central channel, or the toroidal field of your physical vessel. We are luminous spheres. And this field, there's a downward flow and an upward flow. So it's constantly in this spiraling energy of internal, external, rising up, the ascension, the descension. The water flows down and the fire rises up. The yin merge with the yang, the eagle fly with the condor. So I transmit this to all of you. I have to end this to get back to business here. So feel into that energy. Feel into your true nature. See, we feel our way through and through and through until we return to self, return to stillness, return to silence. Just sit in the pure awareness of your divine nature, of Buddha mind. Be the peace that you want to see in the world. Be the love that you want to experience. The bliss, the love, the truth, it's all within you. That's the kingdom of heaven within. So the masters teach to convert that mud ball into the crystal palace. We do our arts, we practice our arts, our spiritual arts, our meditation. And each moment of meditation is transforming that mud into the crystal, the crystalline nature. This is why the dark forces, the nefarious ones, don't want you to meditate. They tell you it's evil, it's bad, it's going to lead you to monsters and demons and whatever. The devil made you do it. It's all to confuse and to keep you trapped in these fear cycles. So we're here to say fear is okay, but do not be afraid of fear. See, that's what they want you to feel. The ones that keep the game going, the archons, the various energies, they want you to be afraid of fear, because that's just another layer that you have to heal and navigate through to get to the true fear, and then beyond that fear into truth. You know, behind all things is truth. So I hope you have a most beautiful, blessed day and a most special galactic new year. It's going to be another powerful year of the yellow resonance seed in the Mayan calendar. The yellow resonance seed, the seed is sprouting. The seed of truth, the seed of consciousness, of awakening, of ascension. It has sprouted, it is rising like the lotus, anchored, rooted into the mud, the filth, the muck of the past, of the 3D as we rise through the still, silent waters, rising into the light to blossom and bloom in the heavens. The flowering of human consciousness is the awakening, the opening of the heart and the mind, to feel your oneness and to bring your oneness and connection and unity to this world. There we go. Why don't you crank it up? Let it go, let it go, let it go. You know, none of our business what's out there. It's all part of the illusion, the simulation. Only love is real. So stay in the love, the truth, and the light. And keep shining bright, angels of the new earth. The eagle and the condor, love you all. Namaste. Aho. The crow knows.